Jr. The privileges of being an American belong to those brave enough to fight for them. Congratulations to all the award winners. I want to thank the supporters of this event, both today and in the past. Thanks also to all the folks who nominated the award winners and for those folks who nominated other folks who didn't quite make it to the win the award. Thanks again, and please enjoy your week.
And the BEYA Stars and Stripes Awards. We're bringing the BEYA experience to you live from all over the world, including BEYA's home in the nation's capital and the Garden Theater in Detroit, Michigan. BEYA is honoring 35 years of advancement, support, achievement, and inspiration. BEYA 35, in partnership with Lockheed Martin Corporation, Aerotech, the Council of HBCU Engineering Deans, and U.S. Black Engineer and Information Technology magazine proudly bring you the BEYA Stars and Stripes Awards. Brought to you by corporate partners, Lockheed Martin Corporation, Raytheon Technologies, the Boeing Company, Northrop Grumman, General Motors, Leidos, General Dynamics Corporation, and Worldwide Technology. Now, let's meet our hosts, one of the most sought-after voices and the host of the wildly popular weekly show, Pillow Talk with Angela, on Washington, D.C.'s 96.3 WHUR. Multimedia talent, Angela Stribling. Here's Angela.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pride that we welcome you to one of the nation's largest and most prestigious gatherings, celebrating the contributions of active and retired African-American admirals and generals from the U.S. Air Force, Army, Navy, Marine Corps, Coast Guard, National Guard, U.S. Space Force, and members of the Senior Executive Service. With the U.S. Air Force as this year's featured service, we continue our honored tradition of having each military service name a recipient of its prestigious Stars and Stripes Award. We also take this opportunity to acknowledge the top blacks in the military featured in the U.S. Black Engineer and Information Technology magazine. BEYA Stars and Stripes was created 16 years ago by the founders, 14 extraordinary retired admirals, generals, and members of the Senior Executive Service with a mission to make more engineers for America and recognize the contributions of African Americans in the military. They are BEYA Stars and Stripes Chairman Emeritus, General Johnny E. Wilson, United States Army, General Lester Lyles, United States Air Force, Lieutenant General Albert Edmonds, United States Air Force, Lieutenant General Joseph N. Ballard, United States Army, Vice Admiral Anthony L. Wins, United States Navy, Lieutenant General Walter E. Gaskins, United States Marine Corps, Lieutenant General Ronald Coleman, United States Marine Corps, Rear Admiral Stephen W. Rochon, United States Coast Guard, Mr. William A. Brown, Sr., United States Army, Major General Leo Williams, United States Marine Corps, Major General Ronald L. Johnson, United States Army, Brigadier General Velma L. Richardson, United States Army, Mr. Tony Watson, and Mr. Jesse McCurdy, United States Navy. Throughout BEYA's 35-year history, there has never been a more pivotal time than right now for our country and the world. As we continue to meet crises on multiple fronts, we know we can work to change the course and redirect our nation's future, as we've always done. BEYA is our trusted community. We have made change by building a strong culture of support through professional education, personal development, recruitment, mentoring, and recognizing groundbreaking contributions by people of color in industry, government, academia, and the military. We've moved through challenges in the past because we know that good people with like-minded values, intellect, and goals can create change for us, our families, and future generations. This is who we are. Let us continue to use our extraordinary resolve, talents, and power to stand up, step up, and make the change that can make a difference. From the revolution to the world wars, Black Americans have continuously stepped up when the nation has called. This year's Stars and Stripes Awards honors both the history and the future of the leaders who have continuously protected, honored, and served our country. Now the United States Air Force invites you to enjoy our national anthem, performed by Captain Lanice Robinson, followed by the Armed Forces Medley.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streamed.
Navy.
And now for our invocation by the Air Force Chief of Chaplains, Chaplain Major General Stephen A. Shake.
I invite you to join me as we pray. Loving God, join us as we celebrate the amazing accomplishments of Black leaders in uniform. And as we applaud them, we pray you put another nail in the coffin of injustice, prejudice, and harmful bias. Thank you for Stars and Stripes, our host, and of course our sponsors, and for all those who long for this night to be a fitting celebration of exemplary Black Americans in service to their country. Smile upon our honorees, their families, and all who will be inspired by their stories. For this we ask, in the name of the one from whom all blessings flow. Amen.
Amen. Please welcome our corporate partner, the Chairman, Chief Executive Officer, and President of Northrop Grumman, Kathy J. Warden.
Welcome to this year's BEYA STEM Conference's Stars and Stripes event. I'm proud to join in this celebration to recognize our military members and our hosts from the U.S. Air Force. Thank you for your extraordinary service, strength, and courage. We draw great inspiration from your commitment and your resilience. I also want to recognize Tyrone Taborn and the entire Career Communications Group. Thank you for continuing to deliver this amazing event for 35 years. It's particularly fitting that we are gathered virtually to celebrate Black History Month this year. Many lives have been impacted by COVID-19, but we persevere because this event is so special. The Stars and Stripes event honors the contributions of prominent Black American leaders who swore oaths to protect and defend our country. It spotlights individuals who have performed above and beyond the call of duty and who have pioneered to create solutions for the world's biggest challenges every day. At Northrop Grumman, we are committed to diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's the uniqueness and the richness of our differences that drive our innovation and make our community special. Last year, we witnessed social injustices around the country that tested our values. With that in mind, we hold ourselves accountable to enhance equity through our actions. The recent appointment of Army General Lloyd Austin as our nation's Defense Secretary marks an exciting time in our country's history. He is the 20th individual to hold the position and the first Black man to do so. I am inspired by General Austin and all of you here tonight. You've demonstrated superior leadership and selflessness, and represent unwavering commitment to our country. Last year was a challenging one, to say the least. But through all we face, I remain optimistic that together we will continue to grow stronger as a community. On behalf of Northrop Grumman, I congratulate all of tonight's honorees. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, joining us this evening is the 20th chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the nation's highest-ranking military officer, and the principal military advisor to the President, Secretary of Defense, and National Security Council, General Mark A. Milley.
Thank you, Angela, for that, and good evening to everyone. And I'm deeply honored to be here tonight as we recognize the remarkable achievements of African Americans who serve our country and support our communities and mentor our youth. Tonight, we acknowledge the accomplishments of military officers who not only excel in their fields, but serve as role models for all of us. Your commitment and dedication inspires the next generation of STEM leaders who contribute to our nation's defense. And I want to thank all of BEYA for providing this forum, not only for foster professional development, but to celebrate the 9 individuals and to recognize their contribution to the nation. In fact, Americans, African Americans, in honor of all Americans, have served our nation in every conflict since the Revolutionary War. The first American of any color killed in defense of our country was an African American, killed at the Boston Massacre in 1770. As you all know, is Crispus Attucks. The contribution of African Americans is ingrained in the very fabric of our nation and the defense of liberty. Tonight, we pause and remember people like Salem Poor, who enlisted multiple times during the Revolutionary War, fighting at both Breeds Hill and Bunker Hill with Colonel Fry's Massachusetts Regiment. Salem Poor's commanders petitioned the court of Massachusetts to recognize his heroism. In fact, no other soldier in the entire American Revolution received such recognition. Our nation owes a debt of gratitude to all African Americans who have ever worn the cloth of our country. The spirit of service is embodied in people like Hugh Robinson, who attended MIT in 1959 and earned a master's degree in civil engineering. Hugh Robinson was also the first African American to become a general officer in the Army Engineer Corps, as well as the first African American to ever serve as a military aide to the President of the United States. General Robinson also commanded an engineer battalion in Vietnam and finished his Army career as the commanding general of the Engineer Division in Southwestern United States, based out of Dallas, Texas. His service embodies the oath that we all take to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. You know, we, the United States military, are unique. We're the only military in the world who swears an oath, not to a person or a government, a king, a queen, a tribe, or a political party. We swear an oath to an idea, and it's a powerful idea. It's an idea that has brought down tyrannies and dictators. It's an idea that is feared by our enemies and emulated by our friends. It's the idea for which Sergeant Alvin Cash gave the last full measure of devotion in Samarra, Iraq in 2005. Despite suffering 2nd and 3rd degree burns, over 72% of his body, Sergeant Cash saved the lives of 6 of his fellow soldiers after the Bradley fighting vehicle they were in was struck with an IED. So what is this idea that Sergeant Cash died for? It's a simple idea, like all powerful ideas really are. So what is it? It's an idea that says, no matter who you are, whether you're male or female or however you identify, no matter if you're Catholic or Protestant, Muslim or Jew, or choose not to believe at all, none of that matters. It doesn't matter if you're black or you're white, Asian or Indian or whatever the color of your skin. Doesn't matter where you came from. Doesn't matter what your country of origin is or what your last name is. Doesn't matter if you're rich or poor or famous or common. In this country, in these United States, under the colors of red, white, and blue that are over my right shoulder, every single one of us is an American, and every single one of us is born free and equal. And we will rise or fall based on our knowledge, our skills, and our attributes. And we're going to be judged for the content of our character, not the color of our skin. Nothing else matters. This is the organizing principle of this experiment in democracy that we call the United States of America. This is the vision of America as written into our Constitution. And it must be always our goal to form a more perfect union. For we are stronger together. And the awardees tonight that we recognize will undoubtedly be future senior leaders like General Brown and Secretary Austin. So I want to thank all of you for mentoring our future leaders. Thank you for serving, and may God bless America.
It is our pleasure to welcome our corporate partner, Chief Executive Officer of Raytheon Technologies, Gregory J. Hayes.
Good evening. On behalf of Raytheon Technologies, I want to start with a thank you to all of those of you who have served and those of you who are currently serving in the armed forces and the senior executive service. It is a high honor to be here to help celebrate the Black women and men who keep our nation safe, strong, and free through service and sacrifice. This recognition of talent comes at a time unlike any in our history. In a normal year, we would naturally talk about change as a force that affects security interests. But we all know that the last 12 months have been anything but normal. The global pandemic, the plight of racial and social injustice and political discord have tested us in unprecedented ways as leaders, as innovators, and as human beings. In the context of what we celebrate tonight, the message is clear. We need diverse problem solvers and innovators like those we're honoring here tonight, now more than ever. It's one of the many reasons we merged United Technologies with Raytheon last April to bring together two organizations that have military partnership as part of their fabrics and apply that expertise to the demands of tomorrow's defense world. And it is delivering these mission-critical technologies to our military partners that reminds us constantly our work serves a higher purpose. But it's not technologies that brings us here tonight. It's the people that make it all happen. Companies don't innovate, people innovate. For us, innovation is rooted in our 60,000 engineers and our 17,000 military veterans. We hire military veterans because they think beyond the theoretical and get to the practical. They're experts in communicating with military customers, and importantly, they run towards challenge, pulling people together. Innovation also demands a more diverse representation. To these ends, we've committed to the implementation of our 4 pillars of action to advance the aims of diversity, equity, and inclusion inside and outside of Raytheon Technologies. By focusing on policy, community, talent, and supplier diversity, we're driving change and with a focus on a diverse STEM talent base. That's why we continue to support BEYA in its efforts to develop and recognize Black engineers who solve problems in innovative ways and who show leadership and support to others in the process. As I close, I'll echo the words of wisdom from a leader whose thinking feels remarkably relevant today, General Charles McGee. He's a retired fighter pilot and Tuskegee Airman, and he once offered the following: dream your dreams, but get the good education to accomplish the desires and needs of the country. Those simple but meaningful words are represented fully in those we recognize here tonight, and they will continue to be central to our continued partnership with BEYA to inspire and develop future STEM leaders. Thank you for your leadership, your service, and your sacrifice. To tonight's honorees and families, congratulations on your well-earned recognition. recognition. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, here with a brief overview of the significance of BEYA Stars and Stripes through the years is the publisher, chairman, and CEO of Career Communications Group, Dr. Tyrone Taborn.
BEYA Stars and Stripes actually started as a breakfast with a handful of us who had attended the conference and decided that it was a good time to network privately before we started our journeys back home. The first year that started, Linda Gooden was the Black Engineer of the Year, gave a speech, and from that point on, it became simply a way for all of our veterans to get together and really just reconnect. The BEYA Stars and Stripes is the story of men and women who sacrificed so much for this marvelous American dream that we live today. Many of those founders, when they took off the uniforms, their uniforms being admirals, generals, senior members of the senior executive service. They did not take off that commitment that they had given to this nation for so long. And they decided to create the BEYA Stars and Stripes Committee, where they would continue to work and contribute and add value and uplift students and support our historically Black colleges and universities and still be the conscience for this nation. One of the things that we're so proud of is the real commitment that they give back to our young people. That brings so much joy, and it validates their entire lives that they're able to keep giving and looking in these young people's face and telling them, yes, it's possible. You can be an astronaut, you can be a 4-star general, you can be a fighter pilot, you can drive a nuclear submarine. You can do all of these things, and then you leave and you can go into industry and you can run universities and you can be a senior exec and you can sit on the boards of Fortune 500 companies. And what you see at BEYA Stars and Stripes every year and throughout the year is the involvement of all people, the service chiefs, the chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff, the Secretary of Defense, leading corporate CEOs, all the way to the most important, which is our future, our young people. And why is it that we all come together? Because we celebrate excellence. But at the end of the day, what makes our nation great is the fact that these men and women being honored have been standing willing and ready to make the ultimate sacrifice yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
Please welcome the National Chairman of the BEYA Stars and Stripes Committee, former Navy fighter pilot and co-founder of Evo Nexus, San Diego's first business incubator non-profit, Vice Admiral Walter J. Davis, United States Navy, retired.
Well, good evening. And on behalf of our Stars and Stripes founders, I thank you for joining us for our 16th annual BEYA Stars and Stripes Awards. Well, after a year of unprecedented challenges and events, Stars and Stripes has evolved and continues to grow in strength and purpose within this new and exciting digital environment. So tonight we gather to honor the extraordinary men and women of our military and their contributions to their respective services and to the future generation of STEM leaders. Now, it's important to note that the incredible leaders that have taken notice of the efforts and achievements of the award winners we honor tonight, as well as the programs that are reaching and launching us into the future. Earlier tonight, you heard from General Mark Milley, the 20th Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. And throughout the evening, you will hear from other dynamic leaders, as well as some of the nation's largest technology and engineering companies. The leaders in tonight's program have a proven track record of helping us with the Stars and Stripes mission. And that mission is for us to inspire, to motivate, and to help our youth into STEM education. We do that 365 days a year. In a moment, you will hear from Admiral Andy Wins, who will talk to us about the tremendous mentoring accomplishments in this past year in pre-award mentoring and sustained mentoring. And then we're going to add a new effort and a new person to our team. I'm proud to announce that General Bruce Crawford, the Black Engineer of the Year this past year, is now joining the Stars and Stripes team and will lead a new effort, a new initiative we call Career Day. In November, we held the first Career Day, hosted by astronaut Major General Charlie Bolden, 26 other professionals. They inspired fourth graders across the country to pursue their dreams and learn what it means to become and make their goals and aspirations come true. So let's hear from some of these bright minds.
My name is Julian, and because of BEYA Career Fair, I want to be an engineer.
Hi, my name is Amber. After participating in the BEYA Career Fair, I would like to be a doctor because I like to help people.
Hi, I'm Jacob. Because of the BEYA Career Fair, I want to be a lawyer when I grow up.
My name is Margaret. I'm in the 4th grade, and when I grow up, I want to be a general.
These children are just a small example of the empowerment our mentorship program promotes in creating tomorrow's change makers. The investments we make in today's youth, guiding them towards opportunities in STEM, ensure a better future for our next generation of leaders. To the next generation.
To tell you more about the Stars and Stripes mentoring program, here is the BEYA Stars and Stripes mentoring chairman and chief executive Africa and Latin America region for Lockheed Martin Corporation, Vice Admiral Andy Wins, United States Navy, retired.
Good evening. BEYA Stars and Stripes is the only organization in the world that does STEM mentoring like we do. Over the last 10 years, we have mentored over 3,700 youth, impacted 50,000 students, and connected more than 1,500 active duty generals, admirals, and senior warfighters. I am proud of the work that we do as STEM mentors. The Fireside Chat with General C.Q. Brown, Chief of Staff of the Air Force, followed by 155 generals, admirals, and senior executive service leaders mentoring over 350 high school students, was unforgettable. The youth came from across the country, East Coast to Chicago to California. The mentors were men and women, the top leaders in America, who provided guidance, shared experiences, and encourage the youth to stay the course. In our new digital environment, we continue to stay the course in our mission to connect and mentor the children. Thank you to the admirals, generals, and SES leaders who selflessly gave their time and energy. Thank you to the principals, the teachers, and the parents. Lastly, thank you to the children. They are our future. Thank you.
Please welcome our corporate partner, Executive Vice President of the Boeing Company and President and Chief Executive Officer of Boeing Global Services, Ted Colbert.
Thank you, Angela. Good evening, everyone. It is a privilege to be part of this celebration. I wish we could all be together in person, and my deepest thanks to Tyrone Taborn, CCG, and everyone behind this incredible virtual event. And to all of tonight's honorees, congratulations. We are inspired by your leadership, your service, and your vigilance. As tonight's theme reflects, the mission of protecting our homeland and defending democracy is an enduring one, and it does not happen without all of you answering the call yesterday, today, and tomorrow. That theme also speaks to another truth. The call to serve is not a one-time event. It is a lifetime commitment. The Boeing team and I are humbled to witness that every day. We see it in all of you, the men and women who tirelessly and courageously put country before self. And we see it in the veterans on our own team who represent nearly 15% of our workforce. I'd like to tell you a brief story about one of those veterans. His name is Jerome Wallace, and he incredibly has served in 3 branches of the military: the Navy, the Marine Corps, and the Army Reserves. Jerome was in college when a bolt of self-discovery altered his path. During a basic training inspection, he put on a dress uniform for the first time, and as soon as he did, he felt a pull he could not deny or delay. He knew immediately that he wanted to serve. Despite how deeply he was drawn to the service, Jerome was still puzzled when he joined the Marine Corps and his first sergeant major told him, "You'll be serving for the rest of your life." Jerome couldn't make sense of it all at the time, but now he knows what his superior meant. Once you volunteer yourself for service, you're never the same again. Service becomes part of you. Like so many others with military roots, Jerome serves through the example he sets every day. He always brings his best self forward, and even though he has been out of the military uniform for over a decade, you'll still find him serving others as president of our Employee Veterans Association, as a baseball coach for At Youth Risk, and as a mentor for young men in his community. Like my teammate Jerome, you always answer the call and put service over self. And that's why tonight we honor all of you for giving the best of yourselves yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Thank you for your selflessness. Thank you for your devotion to the greater good. And thank you for your lifetime commitment to service. I hope you all have a great evening. Thank you.
am truly honored. And I spend a lot of time focused on the warfighters and trying to come up with ways that we can make their job easier. Realizing that my body of work is recognized as an accomplishment and as an achievement, it makes me very proud and inspires me to continue to work hard every day.
I'm very honored to be a BEYA award recipient, so I'd love to use this platform provided by BEYA to be an inspiration for others.
I think this award does not only recognize my hard work, but also the hard work of this amazing team.
So AFRL is constantly looking for ways to make our environment much more diverse and inclusive. And another thing that AFRL encourages and really supports is a mentoring program. AFRL is definitely a very comfortable place for a minority to work in. It creates an environment for you to thrive in.
AFRL has provided a lot of opportunities for me. In particular, I'm able to be a team lead operating as a principal investigator, directing research for my lab. I've also had the opportunity to be involved with their Centers of Excellence, and so I've been able to collaborate with the top scientists in academia.
As a minority, especially coming from Africa, I had all my education in Africa. It's not easy coming from a different country. I am grateful to AFRL for this opportunity.
Yes, I'm involved in Air Force Women in Science and Engineering. I'm currently the vice chair, and we promote diversity and inclusion, professional development for women in the Air Force. I'm also a mentor for younger people interested in careers in the Air Force.
However, during my time in AFRL, I got opportunity to lead my division's outreach program, and I led this course for 3 years. So we had opportunity to educate the broader S&E community, AFRL, on what hypersonics is and what we do in the hypersonic world.
Very comfortable and confident in their knowledge and skills, and look for ways in which they can showcase them. Seek out internship opportunities as early and as frequently as possible.
Stick with it. If this is your passion and something that you really want to do, you can do it.
Some people say that, the sky is the limit. I say that the sky is the beginning, because if I, coming from Ghana, to America, if I'm able to get this opportunity to work, anybody who puts his mind and stay focused and stay determined can also achieve whatever that person has set up to do.
Please welcome the Chief of Staff of the United States Air Force, who is the senior uniformed Air Force officer responsible for the organization, training, and equipping of 685,000 active duty, Guard, Reserve, and civilian forces serving in the United States and overseas, General Charles Q. Brown, Jr.
Nelson Mandela once said, "We can change the world, make it a better place. It's in our hands to make a difference." It's up to all of us to stand up, step up, and make the change, to make a difference and make the world a better place. 3 individuals come to mind that made a difference even when tested during challenging times. Katherine Johnson stood up, was the trusted human computer for NASA in the race to the moon against Russia. She answered the call of our nation. Guyon Bluford Jr. stepped up as a successful combat fighter pilot in Vietnam, but he also made history as the first African-American to travel into space. And Benjamin L. Davis Jr. made the change, how everyone viewed African-American pilots while commanding the Tuskegee Airmen. It made a difference for all African-Americans who wanted to be combat fighter pilots, to include myself. All 3 made a difference for Americans and those who serve today and those who will serve in future generations. Before going any further, it's great to be with you this evening, especially as the Air Force is the featured service this year. Thank you, Angela, for the very kind introduction, to Dr. Tabon and all of BEYA volunteers and administration. We appreciate you bringing us into this event this year virtually. To Chairman Milley and my fellow service chiefs, it's an honor to be with you this evening. It would be a lot more fun naturally in person, and ideally, hopefully next year, we'll be able to do this in person. Tonight, we're celebrating Black leaders from our history and recognize those who are excelling today. Our history is full of individuals and groups who have made meaningful and lasting change. Tonight, let me highlight 3 I mentioned earlier. Katherine Johnson. She wasn't a uniform member. She's one of our strong civilians, but she also served our country. She's one of the first of 3 African Americans to attend West Virginia University, enrolled in graduate studies in math. After starting a family, she took a position at the all-Black West Area Computing Section at the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics, the precursor to NASA at the Langley Laboratory. In 1957, the launch of the Soviet satellite Sputnik changed the history and the life of Katherine Johnson. She stood up, answered the call, and provided trajectory analysis for Alan Shepard's 1961 Freedom 7 mission, America's first human spaceflight. Most of you might know her from the movie Hidden Figures. She calculated the orbital equations that would control the trajectory of the capsule for John Glenn mission for the orbit of the Earth. In fact, John Glenn didn't trust the computers. He said, if she's good, I'm ready. And although she passed just a year ago, she'll never be forgotten. We celebrate her accomplishments and her legacy and remain thankful that she stood up and made a difference and set the example for all of us. Guyon Bluford Jr., the son of a mechanical engineer and a special education teacher, had academic success encouraged in his home. He stepped up. Guyon Bluford went to Penn State, earned a degree in aerospace engineering, and was commissioned through ROTC. He became a pilot and flew 144 combat missions in Vietnam. But then the Air Force gave him the opportunity to keep learning and to keep growing. He went to the Air Force Institute of Technology, received both a master's degree and a PhD in aerospace engineering. He didn't settle for just being a combat pilot or an engineer. He wanted to reach higher. And of the 10,000 applicants to the NASA program, Bluford was one of 35 to join the new Space Shuttle team in January of 1978. He officially became a NASA astronaut just a year later. And in 4 short years, he became the first African American to travel into space and went on to participate in 4 Space Shuttle missions. Becoming a pilot is an accomplishment, but he was a war hero, and he stepped up to become the first African American to reach for the stars. Kids everywhere, no matter your skin color, could see themselves to one day be an astronaut, just like Guyon Bluford. He made a difference. One of the many examples I personally reflect on is General Benjamin L. Davis, Jr. General Davis advocated on behalf of his units under his command, and the Tuskegee Airmen became synonymous with confronting social challenges under combat conditions, a near flawless bomber escort record, and leading the integration effort within the Department of Defense. Even when the Tuskegee experiment was originally set to either fail or to not succeed, he told his airmen, failure is not an option. Under his leadership, the Tuskegee Airmen flew more than 15,000 sorties, shot down 112 enemy aircraft, and destroyed or damaged another 273 aircraft on the ground. And the famed Red Tails became synonymous with being the best and feared by the enemy. He's one of only countless leaders that embraced his leadership position and unified a group and unified a cause. He persevered through adversity and uncertain times when the odds were against him. He made a difference, remembered for generations. These are just a few individuals that made a difference, even when tested during challenging times. How you stand up, step up, and make meaningful change will be remembered. In closing, I know that I will not be able to address many of the challenges, even as the Air Force Chief of Staff, but I will do what I can to make a difference where I can. That's why I keep serving, because just like those before me, there's somebody behind us that's saying, I want to be just like you. Because they see the opportunity, I challenge each of us, to include myself, to stand up, step up, and make the change. May we all strive to be examples like those that came before us, those like Katherine Johnson, like Guyon Bluford Jr. and like Benjamin Mo Davis Jr. Thank you all again, and God bless. Back to you, Angela.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, our first award presentation. The United States Air Force recipient of the 2021 Stars and Stripes Award is Brigadier General Troy E. Dunn, the Air Force's STEM and Diversity Champion. He is currently the Director of Military Force Management Policy, Deputy Chief of Staff for Manpower, Personnel, and Services at the U.S. Air Force Headquarters. He has held several leadership, staff, and command positions at the base, Major, Command, Air Staff, and Joint Staff levels. Brigadier General Dunn served as an aide-de-camp to the U.S. commanders of the U.S. Transportation Command and Air Mobility Command. He was selected as a Congressional Fellow in the office of Senator Trent Lott and as a distinguished member of the National Security Team in the office of the U.S. Senate Minority Whip. His command tours include squadron, group, and the Air Base Wing at the U.S. Air Force Academy. We're proud to present Brigadier General Troy E. Dunn.
Thank you, Angela. And to my Chief of Staff for the Air Force, General Brown, what an honor this is, especially for the grandson of a World War I Army veteran and the son of a retired Air Force Master Sergeant. One saying that has been passed down from generation to generation in the Dunn family is, all that you do, do it with your might. Things by half are never done right. And I'm honored to serve in the world's greatest Air Force with some amazingly talented airmen and also our space guardians who live by that same motto. And they protect and defend the Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and they protect this wonderful nation of ours, and they do this with all their might. They make me proud every day, and I accept this award on their behalf. Thank you.
Here with congratulatory remarks for our awardee is General Charles Q. Brown, Jr.
Thank you. Thank you, Angela. And Troy has done so much for our Air Force and continues to make a difference, particularly in our diversity and inclusion efforts. Troy, I'm very proud of you as well. All the best to you and your family. Congratulations on this distinguished award.
The recipient of the United States Air Force Enlisted Stars and Stripes Award is Senior Master Sergeant Shanton Russell. He is a Deputy Fire Chief in the U.S. Air Force at the McConnell Air Force Base in Kansas, a position he assumed in 2019. Senior Master Sergeant Russell is a proud native Chicagoan, American airman, and military firefighting professional with a passion for team building, mentorship, and developing future leaders. A prominent innovator who holds multiple degrees in STEM, he constantly strives to use the latest technology and training practices for the airmen he leads. He has served in duty stations from Japan, Italy, and Germany. We're proud to present Senior Master Sergeant Shanton Russell.
Thank you, everyone. I was born and raised on Chicago's West Side in the Austin district. While there were many challenges outside of the house, my home was filled with love, support, and encouragement. My mother had me at 16 years young, so my grandmother, a Baptist minister, was mama until my mom was ready to take over. I was raised to believe that I could accomplish anything through hard work and faith. And I carried this mindset with me when I joined the Air Force, and it has not failed me. As an Air Force civil engineer, I promote hard work and innovative thinking to accomplish our mission. I have my mom and my grandma to thank, as well as my entire family and my mentors. Thank you, everyone, and God bless. This is a complete honor.
Here with congratulatory remarks for our awardee is General Charles Q. Brown, Jr.
Thanks again, Angela. You know, the United States Air Force may have some of the best equipment and technology in the world, but none of that really matters because it'll all be static displays without our very strong enlisted force, with enlisted leaders like Senior Master Sergeant Russell. Very inspiring words, Senior Master Sergeant Russell. I appreciate what you've do for our Air Force, the support of your family. Congratulations. We wish you and your family the very best.
Thank you, sir.
The recipient of the United States Air Force Senior Executive Service Stars and Stripes Award is Mr. Alfonso Thomas, SES. He is one of the top engineers in the Air Force. He is the Director of Engineering and Technical Management at the Air Force Sustainment Center at Tinker Air Force Base in Oklahoma and a member of the Senior Executive Service. Mr. Thomas is responsible for the development, implementation, and oversight of the center's technical policies, processes, databases, and goals, as well as overall scientific and engineering expertise for the Air Force Sustainment Center. He oversees the leadership and technical direction for a workforce of more than 4,500 science and engineering professionals, supporting the center's mission at 3 locations in Georgia, Utah, and Oklahoma. Previously, Mr. Thomas was technical director at the Warner Robins Air Logistics Complex at Robins Air Force Base. He also served as the Technical Engineering Authority for a world-class organization of over 7,000 military and civilian personnel. We're proud to present Mr. Alfonso Thomas.
With limited education herself, my mother couldn't offer me advice on higher education, but she did, however, equip me with advice like treating people the way they ought to be treated and never giving up. I left home and enlisted in the Air Force as a musician, later to be offered an opportunity to earn an engineering degree and began a professional career as an Air Force officer and later a career civilian. Due to my mother's life lessons, support of my educators at a young life, and advice from many devoted mentors along the way, I'm blessed and extremely grateful to have advanced from my little shack behind a house on a dirt road in Alabama to being a member of the elite Senior Executive Service Corps in the United States Air Force. I thank you so much for this opportunity.
And here with congratulatory remarks for our awardee is General Charles Q. Brown, Jr.
Thanks once again, Angela. It's, as we look at the United States Air Force, some of our top airmen don't always wear a uniform. And so, Mr. Thomas, we really do appreciate that you not only served as an airman in uniform, but as a very strong civilian. And from very humble beginnings to rise to the level you are, I'm extremely proud of you. I want to wish you congratulations, all the best to you and your family. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Please welcome our corporate partner from Lockheed Martin Corporation, Chief Operating Officer Frank St. John.
Good evening. I hope all of you and your loved ones are safe and well. Tonight, I'm honored to represent Lockheed Martin and be with you as together we mark a number of significant milestones. More than 75 years of Black leadership in our military, 35 years of BEYA, and 16 years of Stars and Stripes. This prestigious event honors those who not only serve our nation, but also work tirelessly to advance diversity, mentor our next generation, and champion STEM education. This is a community of innovators, risk takers, and game changers. You help break down barriers and refuse to set limits on potential. Tonight's honorees join an elite group of leaders, including our Secretary of Defense, and we applaud your accomplishments. At Lockheed Martin, we're proud to work with outstanding members of the military and civil service every day. And we are privileged to have a strong employee veteran base on our team that reminds us consistently about our connection to our ultimate customers. In fact, more than 1 in 5 of our employees are veterans. So let me close by first thanking all who have served, are serving, and those who will serve to protect our country and ensure a brighter future for all. Secondly, on behalf of the Lockheed Martin team, I want to congratulate tonight's honorees. Your hard work and commitment to excellence inspires us all. Well done, thank you, and enjoy the evening.
Wow, congratulations. This is why I love BEYA so much. The recipient of the U.S. Army Stars and Stripes Award is Colonel Antoinette Gant, an award-winning engineer and inspirational mentor. She serves as the commander of the South Pacific Border District U.S. Army Corps of Engineers since July 2020. Colonel Gant is responsible for the southern border, a territory stretching through 4 states, the center of gravity for the Army Corps of Engineers' efforts toward national security. Her career includes positions as district commander of the Albuquerque District, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, military assistant to the Assistant Secretary of the Army Civil Works, and commander of the Louisville District. In 2011, Colonel Gant became one of 16 engineer officers and the only Black selected out of 220 considered for an engineer-specific battalion command before going on to become the only female and Black commander among the 43 district-level command positions in the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. We're proud to present Colonel Antoinette Gant.
Thank you, Angela. As a child, I was very mischievous. And I distinctly remember the time when I thought my father was preparing to discipline me, that he instead sat me down and talked to me about the importance of being a positive example and always looking for the opportunity to make a difference. Little did I know that being an example and making a difference would mean becoming an engineer and, more importantly, being a military service member. I'm thankful for this opportunity to represent the Army as an African American in a combat armed branch that embodies the pillars of science, technology, engineering, and math in all that we do, not just in foreign lands, but for our own nation each and every day. Thank you.
Here with congratulatory words for our awardee is the 40th Chief of Staff of the Army, General James Charles McConville.
Well, and thanks, Angela. Good evening to all, and a special thanks to Dr. Taborn for what you and the whole team do here. It's a really outstanding organization that allows us to celebrate and recognize the amazing talent we have across our nation, our services, and our Army. And thank you for giving me the opportunity tonight to congratulate a great officer, Colonel Tony Gant. commander of the South Pacific Border District. And so I'm so excited that your husband Leonard and your son Leonard can be here tonight. This is a very, very special night. I want to thank you for being such an incredible officer, soldier, and what you do to promote STEM initiatives across the Army. You're an inspiration to us all. You're exactly the type of officer that we need in the future because of your confidence, your commitment, and most of all, your character and the fact that you care for our soldiers. So congratulations on this well-earned and well-deserved recognition. I look forward to seeing you continue your success in the Army. In the Army, it's about people first, winning matters, and we remain Army strong. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And now here's a message from our corporate partner, General Motors. For more than a century, General Motors has been a proud supporter of the military and a strategic partner in developing some of the most technologically advanced infantry squad vehicles, many of which are based off award-winning pedestrian trucks and SUVs. GM continues its pioneering path of innovation with the launch of the all-new GMC Hummer EV, the first of its kind all-electric super truck that emits zero emissions. Let's take a look at the next level of revolutionary performance.
The real revolutionaries the ones that change the game forever. Understanding strength is never enough. Evolving, imagining, seeing the world not as it is, but how it could be. That's how true greatness is realized. That is how you change the world.
Silent propulsion system that will leave everything you thought possible in a cloud of dust. With an immersive open-air design, you can experience the world and the universe like never before. And revolutionary off-road innovation will let you go where no one has gone before and keep on going once you get there. First to own the revolutionary Hummer EV. Reserve your all-electric super truck now at gmc.com.
Congratulations all. I need that truck in my life. I can't get it off my mind. Well, the recipient of the United States Navy Stars and Stripes Award is Captain Jay Clark, a living example of the possibilities a STEM education provides. He is in the top 1% of all Navy officers and is a commodore leading and mentoring thousands of sailors in this and 4 guided missile destroyers. Since March 2019, Captain Jay Clark has been Deputy Commander of Destroyer Squadron 1. His sea duty assignments include tours as an engineering and deck division officer on USS Kearsarge, as chief officer on USS Haler, as material and logistics officer on Destroyer Squadron 28, and as executive officer and commanding officer on USS Roosevelt. USS Roosevelt deployed with the George H.W. Bush Carrier Strike Group and won the Energy Golden Anchor and Battle E Awards during his command. Captain Clark's personal awards include 2 Legion of Merit Awards, the Defense Meritorious Service Medal, Meritorious Service Medal, Joint Service Commendation Medal, Navy and Commendation Medal, Navy and Marine Corps Achievement Medal, and the 2003-2004 Commander Naval Surface Force Leadership Award. We're proud to present Captain Jay Clark.
Good evening. I am Captain Jay Clark, the commander of Destroyer Squadron 1, home ported in San Diego, California. I am currently out to sea, embarked on the finest warship in the Navy, the USS Michael Murphy. I apologize for being unable to attend the conference live, but I am currently underway conducting training with my 6 Arleigh Burke destroyers and the Carl Vincent Carrier Strike Group. I grew up in the very small town of Pembroke, Georgia, approximately 25 miles west of Savannah. I attended Morris Brown College in Atlanta, Georgia, and joined the Navy as a surface warfare officer in 1995. Both my mom and dad were blue-collar workers, and although we didn't have a lot, they worked hard each and every day to provide me and my brother love and a safe and more than adequate environment to grow up in. They instilled in me that how much money you make or the status you achieve in life is not the measure of success, and that success is defined by the quality of person you are and how you treat and help others. My parents' influence has stuck with me throughout college and my naval career. I am just blessed to have worked with incredible people and worked hard enough to achieve positions of authority so that I can use that authority to help as many people as possible succeed. I am both honored and humbled to be receiving this BEYA STEM Award, and please know that I will cherish it and the recognition afforded by being selected. Please enjoy the remainder of the conference, and BEYA, thank you for all that you do. Go Navy.
Congratulations. Here with congratulatory words for our awardee is the Vice Chief of Naval Operations, Admiral William Lesher.
Hey, thank you, Angela. It is an honor to congratulate Commodore Clark on earning this important recognition. Jay Clark has been a superb example of a standout shipmate, a sailor, and an engineer. With proven character, competence, and hard work, Jay brings alive our highest standards of service and leadership. His track record of success, and most importantly, his track record of success in setting up those around him for success, has been exceptional. You highlighted some of the assignments he had across engineering and deck division on Kearsarge, chief engineer on Destroyer Squadron 28, commanding officer of Roosevelt. His leadership has provided the Navy some truly exceptional outcomes and well-mentored leaders at many levels. So congratulations, Jay. We're very proud of your accomplishments, and I personally look forward to continuing to hear of the great outcomes that you're leading your team to as Commodore of Desron 1, embarked on USS Kearsarge, or I'm sorry, on USS Vincent. Keep charging.
And now here is a message from our corporate partner, Worldwide Technology.
What if we could connect people to new possibilities, turn thinking into a way forward, solve problems before they become a problem, and share the future with everyone? We can. At WWT, we connect businesses to technology to make the possible possible, to reach better decisions faster, to accelerate progress. Together, let's make a new world happen.
Congratulations to all. The recipient of the United States Marine Corps Stars and Stripes Award is Colonel Reginald McClam, a leader, STEM mentor, and one of our nation's most decorated combat Marines. He is the branch head of enlisted assignments for the United States Marine Corps. His assignments have included operating forces tours in the 1st and 2nd Marine Divisions. In combat, Colonel McClam has commanded infantry units at every level, from platoon to battalion. Most recently, he was the Ground Combat Arms Lieutenant Colonel Assignments Monitor. He has served tours outside the operating forces, including tactics instructor, staff platoon commander, infantry officer course instructor at the basic school, military aide to the president from 2010 to 2012, and White House and NAGTF planner for Marine Forces Central Command. Among Colonel McClam's decorations are the Defense Superior Service Medal, Bronze Star Medal, Meritorious Service Medal with Gold Star, and Combat Action Ribbon with Gold Star. In 2020, he was selected to command the premier combat officer training course in the world, the Basic School. We're proud to present Colonel Reginald J. McClam.
I grew up in a modest military family. My father is a retired Master Sergeant, United States Air Force. My mother is a retired school teacher. I always admired the military based on my experience with my parents. They were key influences on where I am today. In college, I was drawn to serving our nation, so becoming a United States Marine Corps infantry officer was a natural fit for my personality. The Marine Corps has fueled my desire as a servant leader for Marines and their families in both garrison and combat. Today, as a Marine officer, cancer survivor, husband, and father, and the 2021 BEYA recipient, I want to be an example of accomplishment for all, but especially for Black officers and our future Black engineers.
Congratulations. And here with congratulatory words for our awardee is the 38th Commandant of the United States Marine Corps, General David H. Berger.
Angela, thank you very much. And also thank you to BEYA Stars and Stripes. It is a privilege to recognize Colonel Reggie McClam for his unwavering devotion to duty and his ability to always get the job done, whether in combat, as you mentioned, or ashore. I think it's leaders like Colonel McClam who really inspire and motivate everybody around him. Not just the Marines that he leads, but also his peers and the commanders alike. Marine Corps is really lucky to have such a multi-talented and dynamic leader in Colonel McClam, who sets the example for all to emulate and follow. And his commitment to the Corps, to his family that's there behind him, to his community, really second to none. And I look forward, Reggie, to watching you command our next generation of leaders at the basic school. Thank you, and Semper Fidelis.
Thank you, Commandant.
And now here is a message from our corporate partner, Leidos. recipient of the United States Coast Guard Stars and Stripes Award is Captain Warren Judge. He is a mentor to dozens of STEM professionals and has reached the top rings of success in the U.S. Coast Guard. He has 34 years of distinguished service with a specialty in the area of C5ISC. Captain Judge serves as the Engineering Service Division Chief stationed in Portsmouth, Virginia. Previously, he was Executive Officer of the Coast Guard's Command Control, Communications, and Engineering Center Command. From 2009 to 2012, Captain Judge was stationed at the White House Communications Agency as a Presidential Response Officer. He was the only Coast Guardsman at the 950 Joint Military Personnel Unit and was handpicked as one of 7 personnel within the White House Communications Agency who traveled on board Air Force One, Marine II, and to Camp David. He was also the operations officer for the Electronic Systems Support Unit in New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina, where he led teams to rebuild the Coast Guard's Lower Gulf Coast Command and Control infrastructure, which resulted in saving over 34,000 lives. We're proud to present Captain Warren Judge.
My beginnings were humble and hard. One of the hardest things I had to do was look my mother in her eyes and tell her I failed out the University of Florida. At the same time, I promised her I would get a degree. Not only did I achieve multiple degrees, I also achieved a career. Engineering is more than technology, numbers, and the technical. Through my service to our country in the United States Coast Guard, I realized STEM is another tool of the heart with passion and creativity. And I had mentors and mentees and team members who believed in me and my leadership, which allowed me to grow beyond limits. I would like to thank my family and the United States Coast Guard. Simple Paradas.
Here with congratulatory words for our awardee is the 26th Commandant of the United States Coast Guard, Admiral Carl L. Schultz.
Well, good evening, BEYA, and congratulations to all the Stars and Stripes Award winners, particularly our Coast Guard men and women that are honored elsewhere in the program. And congratulations to Captain Warren Judge. I've known Warren for many years, and I couldn't be any more honored than being here tonight to stand alongside my shipmate and recognize him. Matter of fact, Warren came in our transition in 2018. He's such a vital member of the Coast Guard team. You know, in layman's terms, this man beside me, he is in charge of leading teams. He's in charge of leading teams that deal with applications, sensors and electronics, frequencies, information assurance, and others. It's all about communications and interoperability across the service. These systems are vital to the health of the Coast Guard's C5 enterprise and all our network infrastructure. And this past year, you know, we've relied on our communications, Warren, more than ever before. When we think about this award, it's a big deal, but you think about this award in this given year, and I would say it's an even bigger deal. So I'm grateful that Captain Judge chose to dedicate much of his adult life, really his entire life. Joined with Angela, who's also a public servant. We're just happy, Angela, that you stood by your husband, Warren, and helped him through this task. So thank you, Angela. Warren, congratulations on behalf of the men and women of the Coast Guard and BEYA. It's truly a privilege, and Warren, you are our candidate for Black Engine of the Year. Thanks, shipmate. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, here is a message from our corporate partner, General Dynamics.
General Dynamics ensures that today is safe and secure and tomorrow smarter. One incredible execution at a time. Innovators, thinkers, dreamers, understand that action accelerates progress wherever your mission takes you. behind the screens, behind the scenes, on the ground, in the air, under the sea, in the lab, to the cloud, and everywhere in between. Powering tomorrow's mission again and again. We have no plans to slow down. We're General Dynamics. Innovation spanning everywhere.
Congratulations to all. The recipient of the National Guard Bureau Stars and Stripes Award is Lieutenant Colonel Yasmin Neal. She started her own STEM organization while dedicating over 20 years of service to the Army National Guard. She serves as the primary liaison officer to the military deputy to the assistant secretary of the Army for Financial Management and comptroller on all finance and comptroller strategic planning. Lieutenant Colonel Neal is also a recognized leader in her community, serving passionately as a mentor and coach. She is the founder and director of Fly Minds Youth Development. I love that. A nonprofit organization that inspires and exposes youth from underserved communities to STEM. Her nonprofit engages youth through various platforms, including STEM fairs, summer camps, and fall robotics teams. Under her leadership, the Fly Minds STEM program aims to close the equity gap through the use of structured education programs and exposure to other youth development opportunities. We're proud to present Lieutenant Colonel Yasmin Neal.
Wow, good evening. Thank you for that. While I was serving early in my career, I met a pilot, Alex Bailey, who recognized my interest in flying and encouraged me to pursue a private pilot's license. It was from this experience that I learned how amazing it is to fly a plane, but also that this was something that I could do. And I appreciate that. But I also began to wonder, what if I had been exposed to aviation and flight simulation as a kid? I may have chosen a different path. At the time of this exposure, I was in my military field, and it is not aviation. So with Fly Minds, we have a motto: explore your potential. And that is exactly what our youth get an opportunity to do with our free programs and our STEM activities. So today, this is not just a recognition for our robotics program, but also to those folks behind the scenes that are our supporters: my family, our board of directors, our partners like the City of Alexandria Parks and Recreation and their staff, Sean Brown, Lucretia Murphy, and Rodney Bates, our volunteers like the T.C. Williams High School robotics team, Jay Wade, Shakina Evans, and so many volunteers that dedicate their time. I appreciate you. And of course, this recognition is a nod to the parents and the students that are a part of our Fly Minds family. We appreciate you all. Thank you, BEYA, and thank you to everyone out there that are giving kids the opportunity to explore their potential. Go Guard.
So wonderful. Here with congratulatory words for our awardee is the 29th Chief of the National Guard Bureau, General Daniel R. Hokanson.
Yasmin, congratulations on your award. and thank you for serving in our National Guard. Every guardsman is a citizen soldier or citizen airman, but you are a citizen soldier, entrepreneur, mentor, coach, STEM advocate, and now BEYA Award winner. There's a quote you have on the Fly Minds website by social entrepreneur Bill Drayton. It reads, "The moment a young person creates something, they know for the rest of their life how powerful they are." But I'll tell you a secret, it's not just young people. By creating this organization and empowering young Americans to explore STEM fields, you've given them the confidence to chart new territory. By allowing their minds to fly, you're helping the next generation soar. I'm very proud to serve with you. Thank you again, and congratulations.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
The recipient of the United States Space Force Stars and Stripes Award is Brigadier General David N. Miller, Jr. He leads thousands of STEM professionals called Guardians in securing outer space and mentors men and women in leadership and cutting-edge science and technology. He is the Senior Military Assistant to the Secretary of the Air Force in Arlington, Virginia. Brigadier General Miller leads the Secretary's personal staff and is responsible for conveying her guidance and intent through strategic planning, execution, and communications. Since entering the Air Force in 1993, he has commanded at the squadron, group, and wing level and has held a range of operational leadership and staff positions. Prior to his current position, he was the Director of Plans, Programs, and Financial Management, Headquarters, United States Space Force, Peterson Air Force Base, Colorado. A command space leader, he is the first Black general in the history of the Space Force and has operational certifications in multiple weapon systems. We're proud to present Brigadier General David N. Miller, Jr.
Well, thank you so much. Like all the honorees, any recognition I receive is due to the work of so many others. I'm the son of a single mother of four who was a New York City school teacher and made ends meet on a salary that she needed to extend quite far and went without quite often. I'm the husband of a loving wife, Samantha, who you see here sitting next to me. She's an Air Force reservist. She is raising a wonderful family, and she's a partner that I could only dream of when I was younger. And each and every day, I go to work with some of the finest people in the world. Some of them, in fact, you've seen on the program here this evening. Each of them has contributed to my development. They taught me the power of faith, the confidence to lead, and the strength to support others in need. So today, as a husband, a father, and an officer in the United States Space Force, I look for every opportunity I can find to help others maximize their potential. So on behalf of all of them and all of you, I say thank you to the BEYA team for the great work they're doing in the community. And I say thank you to everyone who's contributed to me and my development, and it is on their behalf that I accept this recognition. Thank you.
Here with congratulatory words for our awardee is the Chief of Space Operations, United States Space Force, General John W. Raymond.
Well, good evening, and thank you so much to the BEYA Stars and Stripes. What a great night it's been. And I'll tell you, I also want to say thank you for recognizing one heck of an officer. I've known Brigadier General Dave Miller since he was a young captain. And I'll tell you, since that time, he has stood out as the leader in our business. He's an incredible officer, an incredible war fighter, both at home and deployed. He is absolutely a leader that attracts Guardians to want to serve and want to do well. I will tell you, there is no other person that had the impact on standing up both United States Space Command and establishing the United States Space Force. I come to work every day very proud that I get to serve with Dave Miller. And I'll tell you, Samantha, thank you as well for what you do
for us as a reservist and what you do for Dave and your family. It is an absolute privilege to be here tonight. It's an absolute privilege to say a few words, nice words about you, which is easy to do. And I hope you have a great weekend. Semper Super.
Thanks, Chief. Semper Super.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back General Charles Q. Brown, Jr.
Well, thank you, Angela, and thank you for being such a great host this evening. I also want to say a very heartfelt thank you to the BEYA Stars and Stripes Committee for what turns out to be an awesome evening doing this virtually. I'm also very honored to be, as the Chief of Staff of the Air Force, that the Air Force was the featured service this year. Before I hand over the stick to the Navy, I would like to first of all, congratulate all of tonight's award winners, well deserving. I'm very proud of every single one of them. They very well represent all of our uniformed service and our civilians very well. And so I'm very happy to shake the stick and hand over to United States Navy, to the CNO and the Vice CNO, Admiral Gilday and Admiral Lesher, as the United States Navy takes on the featured service for next year. Thank you to you all. God bless, and we'll see you next year.
Hey, General Brown, on behalf of the Navy, thank you. And thank you for your exceptional leadership of this year's event. Navy welcomes with honor, accepts with honor, the responsibility of carrying this tradition forward.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our BEYA Stars and Stripes Awards. This has been wonderful. Thank you for joining us to honor those who have answered the call throughout our nation's history. The leaders of each service who continue to stand up, step up, and make the change for us and for future generations of leaders. We thank you for joining us for this digital experience. Our Evening with the Stars continues, and you will be digitally transported to the Department of the Army, Department of the Air Force, or the Department of the Navy tribute suites, where retired 4-stars General Johnny Wilson, U.S. Army, General Les Lyles, U.S. Air Force, and Admiral Cecil Haney, U.S. Navy, are hosting a powerful national conversation on the future workforce and national security. Thank you so much, and have a great evening.